Water is probably the #1 pillar of prepping when it comes to survival. The human body can only go about 3 days without water. When severe dehydration occurs, your blood pressure and heart rate deteriorate. You'll experience confusion and muscle weakness, finally leading to kidney and organ failure and eventually leading to death. In this video, I'm going to show you a great way to avoid all of this, even if the water stops flowing into your home. What's up, preppers? I'm the Community Prepper, and like always, thank you for watching my channel. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, but only if you've gotten something valuable from it. And please consider subscribing to my channel if you like videos about prepping, firearms, product reviews, and all other topics prepping related. In today's video, I want to show you how to properly install a catch barrel to collect rainwater for consumption. I'll go over my simple system and what you can do in an emergency to have drinkable water in an almost unlimited supply. Depending on where you live in the United States, you may not get rain on a weekly or even monthly basis. And if you don't get regular rainfall, you'll need to figure out other ways of stockpiling and storing water. Be sure to see my previous videos about storing water. Where I live, it rains on average about 50 inches a year, and we really don't get a rainy season. On average, I get between 3 and 4 inches of rain each month. Check your local statistics on rainfall to better understand if catching rain would be a good option for you. Finally, check your local laws regarding collecting rainwater. Some states want you relying on the grid. First, let's talk about rainwater and what inherent risks it holds as related to consumption. When water falls from the sky, is it safe to drink? Yes and no, but more no. If you are in a desperate situation and need water, drinking unfiltered rainwater for a short period of time will probably not cause any immediate health issues. And chances are, if you need to drink collected rainwater, it's a pretty dire situation. Weighing the risks between severe dehydration and potential illness caused by drinking rainwater should be addressed. This is where your Life Straw or Sawyer filter would come into play to filter out some of the toxins. Boiling water will also not be enough to get rid of toxins. Boiling water will only kill biological matter like viruses, bacteria, protozoa, and other pathogens. It will not get rid of microplastics, pesticides, heavy metals, and other industrial chemicals. Boiling rainwater will be the best practice, but please note that catching rainwater is far different than collecting water once it has fallen to the earth. Once on the ground, it picks up far more toxins than when it falls from the sky. Water falling from the sky can still pick up dust, smoke, and other particles from pollution. Furthermore, if you are catching rainwater from your gutters, it can also contain roofing materials, animal droppings, sticks, leaves, and insects. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, hope I'm saying that, or PFASs, are human-made chemicals that don't break down easily. Unfortunately, they can be found in rainwater. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances are known as forever chemicals because they take years to break down. They are found in substances like cleaning products, waxes, paints, food packaging, firefighting foams, and more. Epidemiological studies have shown that prolonged consumptions of PFASs can lead to health issues including altered immune and thyroid function, liver disease, lipid and insulin dysregulation, kidney disease, and adverse reproductive and developmental outcomes, and cancer. So now that you know all the bad stuff that rainwater can contain, how do we collect it and how do we make it suitable for human consumption? First, let's start with the collection method. First thing I needed to do was select an area in my yard where I wanted to keep the water barrel. I selected this area because it doesn't get direct sun most of the year and it won't be subjected to huge temperature swings between the day and the night. So I cut this tree away. Yes, I am using a hacksaw. It's not the right saw for the job, but I did have the hacksaw out because I would later need to cut the downspout of the gutter with to put in the piece that directs the flow of the downspout to my water barrel. After cleanup, I unboxed the water barrel. It did come in 2 pieces. It came with a pedestal. Not a lot of them do come with a pedestal. I found one on Amazon that contained a pedestal. If you don't have a pedestal, you can use cinder blocks to get it up off the ground. You'll need it up off the ground because you'll see that the spout on the bottom of the rain barrel is only a few inches from the ground. So if you're going to put any kind of bucket or catching device to transfer the water from your barrel to your garden or your filter in your kitchen, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get anything under there. Now this piece here, this is a 1-inch drill bit that I needed to get. I didn't have this, to cut a hole in the side of the barrel to put the overflow valve in. And here I am shaking out the plastic pieces that went into the barrel. Now once you have everything in place, you're going to want to put your barrel in its permanent location. This is a 55-gallon water container, and a gallon of water is a little bit over 8.3 pounds. So this thing full weighs 458 pounds. That would be very difficult to move once it is full. So here I am putting in the top grate. This is just a little mesh piece that filters out any of the larger debris that might come off your roof and go into your water barrel. I'm not super happy with this mesh piece because it isn't really as tight as I want it to be to filter out finer particles. I may put something over it later or replace that piece completely. Now this piece here, this is the part that you are going to install in your downspout, which will direct the downflow of the water into your water barrel. So I had to do some sawing into the downspout here to fit the piece in. That's 6 inches. That's what the direction says to cut, to be sure that there's a good fit. So this was a little bit difficult getting in. I had to play with it a little bit and really force it up, and then it fit nicely. The next thing I needed to do is connect the hose from that little downspout device. I'll link that in the description below. I don't remember the name of it right now. And then the hose is quite long, so I just cut it so that I wouldn't have so much excess. And again, I am using a hacksaw. I know, not the right tool for the job, but it's what I had with me. Then I cleaned everything up, and I did use the leaf blower again to get all these fine little particles out of there. But that's pretty much the setup right there. And you'll see here what the final thing looks like. Pretty easy to do. Now that you're set up with your rain barrel collector, it's time to discuss how to properly filter this water for consumption. First, I want to discuss what not to do when making gathered water consumable. There are many products on the market that are solely designed for purifying tap water. Now, tap water is technically 100% consumable in normal situations. However, people usually want to filter tap water to get out added chemicals such as chlorine and fluoride. Other potential but rare contaminants could include herbicides, lead, mercury, and pharmaceuticals. Most of us have what is called an inline water filter connected to the refrigerator or kitchen faucet. These filters are designed to only get rid of taste and odor in tap water and will not suffice for purifying water. Furthermore, there are many commercially available filters such as the brand Brita and Zero Water. Again, they only filter out for taste and odor and are not industrial enough to get rid of pesticides, pharmaceuticals, fluoride, bacteria, or viruses. They claim to reduce many substances found in tap water, but they do not eliminate most toxins. The absolute best way to purify water for consumption is by reverse osmosis, or RO. Reverse osmosis utilizes filtering water through multiple filters, eliminating different contaminants at each level. The first step is water passing through a polypropylene sediment filter. The next two filters are carbon filters that will get rid of 99% of the suspended solids, organic compounds, heavy metals, and other contaminants. The biggest downside of RO is that it needs electrical power because it utilizes a high pressure pump to push water through semi-permeable membranes. In your home, these filters are usually found under the sink or in the garage. The filter system needs to be installed on the cold water line past the water softener if your home is equipped with one. Now, if we're in a situation that is requiring us to drink collected rainwater, I'm going to assume we're in SHTF, and we're also probably without electrical power. This is where your next best option comes in. A gravity filter uses carbon filters to get rid of contaminants in water and works without electricity. Most gravity filters work by utilizing a dual chamber system with a single or multiple carbon filters. In the top chamber is where you will pour your untreated water and holds the filters. Gravity pulls the water through the filters and falls into the lower chamber. The lower chamber will hold your purified water. Most gravity filters come with some type of spout that you can use to fill pitchers or glasses of water. The main advantage of a gravity water filter is that they do not require any electricity. But like I stated earlier, not all gravity filters are of the same quality and purification level. Brands like the ProPure Pro 1 claim to filter out over 200 contaminants, including lead, fluoride, cysts, and microplastics. A ProPure Pro 1 is NSF or ANSI certified. The National Standards Institute or American National Standards Institute establishes the minimum health effect requirements for the chemical contaminants and impurities in drinking water. Brands such as the popular Berkey gravity filter may not have the NSF's stamp of approval, but they do third-party independent tests on their filters that have shown 99% removal of the same toxins as the brands endorsed by the NSF. There are a few downsides to gravity-fed filters that are worth mentioning. First is that they are slow processing the water. If you are just relying on a single gravity filter for you or your family, you should be fine. However, if you are supplying drinking water to your community, the demand will be much higher than the supply. It takes about 1 hour to filter 1 gallon of water. Also, the filters will need to be replaced periodically to ensure your water is being filtered correctly. You can expect to pay about $200 to $400 for the initial setup, and replacement filters anywhere between $80 to $200. There are many brands of gravity filters out there, and I don't want to get into a discussion about which one is the best. I'm not endorsing any filter over the other. I suggest that you do your own research and find a filter you are comfortable with when consuming collected water. Now that we've discussed the ideal ways of filtering water, let's talk about what you can do with unfiltered rainwater. The best advantage of collecting rainwater is that it's free and there's really no shortage of it. It's a great way to conserve resources, especially if the taps stop flowing. If you have a good stock of drinking water already, you can utilize your collected water for chores that don't require purified water. Rainwater is perfectly fine for using straight out of the clouds for bathing, washing dishes, and doing laundry. Rainwater is soft by nature, meaning there are less dissolved minerals. It's also ideal for watering plants because unlike tap water, it doesn't contain bacteria-killing chemicals like chlorine or chloramine. All right, preppers, I really hope you learned something from this video and enjoyed my presentation. I learned a lot while researching and making this video, and I hope you will utilize this knowledge to grow your preps. Please share this video with your prepping community and leave me a comment below. Water for consumption should be your #1 priority in preparedness. If I were new to prepping, the first 3 things I would do is get 3 weeks of water stored in my home, set up a rain collection system, and invest in a gravity-fed filter. Refuse to be a victim. Water is probably the #1 pillar of prepper when it comes to... Water is probably the #1